As the demands of the steel fabrication industry continue to grow, efficiency and integration are more important than ever. So, today, the ISS team have made it across the waters to Pattern Engineering in New Zealand to explore how Strumus is helping their team stay ahead by connecting processes, improving traceability, and driving results. While Chris is hosting a training session upstairs, I thought it would be a good idea to get some real-world, real people experience and perspective on how Strumus is being implemented. So, meet David, the systems manager for Pattern Engineering. Let's dive right in.
So when our Strumus journey started, we were looking for a management information system to do what Strumus does, and we didn't know what that looked like at the time. So spent a long time with webinars and video conferencing and all sorts of things with a variety of companies from all over the world. And then quite by chance we stumbled across Strumus, and the big difference between Strumus and everything else we looked at was everybody else wanted us to change our processes and systems to match their software, whereas Chris and Jaco said right from get-go, you understand what your processes are, we'll make the system work to your processes, and that's pretty much what we've been doing ever since. For us, the journey with Strumus has been about how are we going to make the business more productive, more efficient, and in doing that, making people that work in the business accountable, responsible, give them ownership, give them visibility on what they're doing. And the other side of that is, because Strumus is integrated into the whole business, anybody in the business can see where we're up to with a project as it moves along the processes, right from the estimators doing the quote, right through to the guys that are on a site in windy Wellington and they're putting the steel up. So anybody can see how the job's progressing. One of the things we talked about before with the changes that we're looking at, tomorrow we've got a meeting with a guy and we're looking at labelling steel. So in this particular case, each piece of steel will have a label on the end of it with a variety of information that allows us to see exactly what that steel's for, where it's from, what its size is, purchase order, heat cert numbers, all of that compliance information can be on the label. So all of the information that's sitting inside those consoles over there has come through Strumus.
Really?
So processing, so basically the start of the process is already fully operational. Processing, and then it comes across into the drill line, so all of that information is coming out of Strumus. So we're getting that information through the devices on the fabrication floor as the workers do the jobs that they're doing. Here for this week, it's not the first time they've been over here, 2 or 3 times now for a week of training at a time. That's invaluable. But I guess what's even more invaluable for us is the ability to be able to contact Chris, Jaco, Michael with any issues that we're encountering and that we need help with. It's that level of support is just unprecedented. And when I look at the number of hours that we've spent looking at various issues that we've encountered, and we're getting responses that are meaningful, they're timely, and 99% of the time when they provide a solution, it works first time every time. So that's also extremely encouraging and rewarding. And I guess, it's like Chris was saying before, this is a partnership. I mean, we're all in this together, and what's good for Pattern Engineering ultimately is good for Strumus. And I guess that's when it comes to change, and when it comes to the point where you're transitioning people who have done something the same way for years and years and years, if you can give them a familiarity with that process and say to them, okay, you're going to do it exactly the same way, it's just going to be on a different device, or it's going to be in a different method. And I guess timesheeting is a classic example. We use a piece of paper and a pen here for timesheeting now. So any electronic timesheeting had to be as simple as that. And so we've worked with Strumus and ISS to get us into a position where we've got a timesheeting system that you can select your assembly or select the job that you're going to do, and it's as simple as pressing start or go. And when you've done what you've done, you press stop. So yeah, it's an all-encompassing piece of software for us that gives us that sort of visibility. And that's what I love about Strumus is that the visibility. It provides accountability, manageability, and this, we're lucky that we've got a support network with the boys that is second to none.
After the workshop tour with David, I was able to catch up with Jono, the Managing Director for Pattern Engineering, where we were able to get some insight into his experience with Strumus. Alright, so thanks for joining us.
No worries at all.
How long have you been with Strumus?
So the journey started 3 years ago with Strumus. And just to sort of give you a bit of a backstory, Andrew and I purchased the company 7 years ago. We have both been working with the business now 25 years. The business historically has been a family-owned business up until that point, 7 years ago, when we first purchased it. Grandfather started it, the two sons took over, they both did 50 years in the business. When we took over the company, what it was lacking in was systems. And we sort of did a fair bit of research. At that point in time, we looked at a couple of other options. We invested some money in an option that we thought that was going to be a good fit for the business, because we had actually designed an in-house quoting package and tracking system. And so we wanted to continue with that and stick with that, and then use a device that would then dovetail into our already current existing system. After spending a sum of money to see whether that was going to be a good fit, and we soon realised that it wasn't, we went back on the hunt. And David and I went on, David, our systems manager, him and I went on the road and actually went out and had a look and started talking to other businesses about what they were using. We then came across Strumus, and largely by fear, most of the big companies here in New Zealand and even further afield are using Strumus. So we did a fair bit of research before we actually talked to Chris and Jaco and about bringing them over to where we are, to sort of talk to us about what our journey would look like, and just starting the process, I guess, from there. Because one of the things that we sort of found, and when we sort of started talking to a lot of other companies, they were still using a hybrid of systems. They might be using Strumus for, it could be for quoting and processing, but then they weren't using it. Then the next company we would go to might use it for purchasing, invoicing, job tracking, and then they'd use another system for something else. And so when we decided that we were going to do this, we said, well, no, we want to use this, we want to do this in its complete entirety. And all the tools and functions that Strumus have, we want to implement those into the business. So basically we want to be a one-stop shop. So we wanted Strumus to be a one-stop shop for us. So right from the start of the project, from when it's being estimated, following the job all the way through into project management once the job's been won, purchasing, invoicing, the entire lot. And then I guess from there is about having an overarching view of how all our jobs are tracking and what have you, and getting into the processing, getting our fabrication team all involved with it. We've got devices now set up on the workshop floor. we're a long way down the track now. So we also, when we first started looking at this, we wanted to set up something that was going to bring us into the 21st century. We were still manually writing hours on our time cards. It was still manually entered into. The girls were manually entering it into the computers and what have you. It was really cumbersome. With the timesheeting app and with the timesheeting stuff that Strumus does, this is going to be a lot more automated. The guys will be able to go into a console, click on that part or assembly that they're going to start fabricating, and then that will then dovetail into catching up with our foreman. Our foreman will approve all those hours before it comes directly down to the office, and those hours get assigned to that job without having to have any manual person doing anything from there. So yeah, it's been an exciting journey, and I can't take my head off to Chris and Jaco enough in the sense that we have, every time that we've needed something from them, they've delivered it. And I know David, our systems manager, has spent countless hours. He's probably lost track of the amount of hours with Zoom calls, team calls, with Michael. All the guys have been great to deal with, and they've all been readily available. You want to fully integrate your entire business into a model that's going to be able to provide clarity around everything that you do and track where every part of that assembly, but that stick of steel is, whether it's in process, whether it's in fab paint, whether it's on site, whether it's been erected. This also helps us dovetail into all of our payment claims and track where we are with all of our tonnages and our square metres for painting, steel erection on site. So there's a lot more visibility around what Strumus can do. Like I say, we want to be a 21st business, a 21st century business. We want to be adopting software and making our jobs easier, more efficient. Everyone's time is so critical, and so you want to make sure that the time that you're actually spending at work is valuable, and so hence the reason why we're absolutely ready to adopt whatever it is that we want to do that's going to help our business long term.